Thank you, David Adams. Wow, wasn't that great? Good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I appreciate this time that we get to spend together. And I got to say hi to this guy, man. I haven't seen him for a while. Robert, how are you? Good to see you. You keeping warm?
Just barely.
Yeah, well, turn the heat up. Anyway, we're going to have a good time today. We are still on this theme of kicking off 2011 in a way that we know this can be, it has the possibility, it has the potential to be the best year of our lives. We are going to move forward with resolutions if you choose, with dreams if you choose, with desires if you choose, and we're going to see those manifest in our lives. Now, today is the first day of a 10-week series called Prosperity Plus. And it is a part of the class that Heidi's teaching on Monday evening, but we're going to cover 10 different steps on prosperity. And before we get too far into this, I want to impress upon you that prosperity isn't just about money and finances. Prosperity, literally defined, means having what you want to the degree that you desire. And that can be love in relationships, that can be peace of mind, that can be a sense of self-confidence, that can be a higher level of well-being, that can be finding joy in every aspect of your life. It is what you think is missing or is not sufficient in your life. And these 10 basic steps are going to teach you how to manifest that. Now, in that regard, I would like for you to consider making a commitment. And I know when people hear commitment, sometimes I do it myself. I step back and say, wait a minute, I don't want to make a commitment. I don't like commitments because sometimes they lead to me not fulfilling them and somebody gets disappointed. Well, this commitment, you cannot lose, you cannot fail, you cannot fall short. What I would like you to consider committing to is being here every Sunday for the next 10 Sundays. And if you work or if you're going out of town or that is not possible, to watching the lesson at unitytemple.com or buying a CD. Or call me and I'll send you a CD. But the different lessons are like pieces of a puzzle that come together to paint a picture at the end, which will deepen your understanding about you, about your life, and about how you can move into the future with a constant sense of really growing and becoming more than what you are. Now, we all know when we make a commitment, and that commitment needs to be fused with enthusiasm. And we also know that we have to have a certain degree of hope. If we don't believe that we can fulfill the commitment, if we are not hopeful, if we don't have high hopes, our enthusiasm is going to fizzle out and our progress on the path is going to grind down to a halt. Hope is a key ingredient that leads to self-confidence, and it leads to a sense of strength and power and wisdom that will move you forward, even during the obstacles that show up. Now, my cousin Ozzy is, for those of you who are new here or visiting us for the first time, you might wonder why cousin Ozzy would evoke laughter. And you'll find out. He's my cousin living in South Dakota, and he's just a very eccentric and unusual person. But anyway, he has made a commitment to the horse races. He goes whenever he can. And that commitment is fueled by his hope that he will win. So he very seldom misses a race. Well, several months ago, he went to the horse races, and lo and behold, there was Pastor Sandvig. Now, Ozzy is not a religious person. He's not a churchgoer. He doesn't have a solid relationship with Pastor Sandvig. He isn't even comfortable in Pastor Sandvig's presence. So when he saw him there, he hid from him. At the beginning of the first race, Ozzy saw Pastor Sandvig go up and lay his hand on the head of horse number 7 and bless it. Well, horse number 7 won. On the second race, he saw him go up and place his hands on horse number 1. And horse number 1 raced and won. Well, in the third race, he went up and placed his hands on horse number 9. And Ozzy immediately went and bet on horse number 9, and he won a handsome sum of money because number 9 won. Well, at this point, Ozzy came to the conclusion that Pastor Sandvig had some sort of a divine intervention on which horse was going to win the race. So when he saw him go up to horse number 8 and place his hand on that horse's head and bless it, he went and he bet all of his money on horse number 8. He even drew out all the money he could from the ATM and bet that on horse number 8, even though it was a long shot. Well, the bell rang, the horses took off. Ozzy sat there and watched as horse number 8 and just kind of lumbered like an old plow house down the field. By the time the race was over, horse number 8 was 50 yards behind every other horse, and when it crossed the line, it collapsed. Well, Ozzy was infuriated. He immediately went up to Pastor Sadvig and said, "What's going on here? I saw you bless 3 horses and they all won. What happened to this horse?" And Pastor Sandvik said, "Ozzy, if you'd come to church more often, you would know the difference between a blessing and last rites." What's the moral of that story? We put our hopes in, it has to have a certain reality to it. Now, as we move into this, you might wonder, you might ask yourself, why even set a goal? Why set a resolution? Why nurture dreams and desires? My life is just so-so. I can get by. It seems like an awful lot of work. It seems like I'm setting myself up for failure. I don't really know what I want out of life, so why go through all of that? And the reason is that we are human beings, but we're also spiritual beings. And as spiritual beings, we are creators. That's our primary characteristic. If we're not creating something, we become very stagnant. It's like something's missing in our life. And goals and dreams and the pursuit of desires is a way for us to create something new in our life. It's a way to add momentum to our life. It's a way to break the tedium. It's a way to create greater understanding of ourselves, our lives, and our world. And that's all a commitment or a goal is all about. When you set a goal, it's very fine when you get to the end result and you are rewarded by the fulfillment of that goal. But what is really important is that you have gained a new understanding. You know something that you didn't know before, and that moves over to every area of your life. The prize of attaining a goal is nice, but the understanding that comes with it lasts forever, and it changes your reality. As an example, when each and every one of us were born, we went through the stages of being a baby, but to graduate from being a baby to a toddler, we had to learn how to walk. And that process was difficult. We had our stumbles and we had our falls. But when we took that first baby step, it was really a giant leap because we entered a whole different reality. Our viewpoint of the world changed. And the people that deal with human realities have told us that when a baby goes from a crawling baby to a walking baby, brain patterns change. Uncoordinated movements become coordinated. Ideas are explored about this whole new world. It is a different reality because this upright, forward walking baby, its eyes even adjust to be able to discover things it never discovered before. And everybody here at some point in time has seen a baby when it's first learning how to walk, and it gets so excited and it's so enthused that it takes a step, then it takes a faster step, and pretty soon it gets ahead of itself and it's kind of racing to catch up, and it's just an incredible experience. Well, that same thing holds true when we accomplish something that we've never accomplished before. When we move into an area, like at the end of this 10 weeks, and you might say in 10 weeks, man, that's an awful lot of time. I don't know if I want to commit to that. Well, 10 weeks are going to pass one way or the other. If you do nothing, 10 weeks is just as long as if you do something. But at the end of this 10 weeks, if you engage yourself in every one of these lessons, you're going to discover that you're living in a reality that is greater than you've ever lived in before. And I can assure you, I can do better than that. I will guarantee you that if you complete these 10 lessons, your life is going to be better. You're going to look at it and say, I'm a different person. Just like the young woman who was up here earlier said, I'm a different person. I see life differently. I have a greater sense of peace. I have a greater sense of joy. Because your understanding has deepened. And that is the whole point of every objective, of every goal, to deepen our understanding, to move beyond the surface of what we've known to be true and go deeper to seeing a higher reality that is truly joyful. Now, at this point, we might ask ourselves, this sounds so good. Why wouldn't everybody do it? Or why do I feel a sense of reluctance within me to do this? And the most common excuses for not moving forward, not attempting to accomplish a goal, are, I'm afraid I can't do it. Other people tell me I'm foolish. What if I try and fail? What will other people say? I don't want to set myself up for failure. But what if we had those same attitudes as a child when we were learning how to walk? We would be crawling in here today. So all of those thoughts and feelings that are based on fear need to be brushed aside. We need to realize that we are lying to ourselves and we are sabotaging our future when we dismiss or discount the potential that we have. See, many of us have attitudes and thoughts and perceptions that have been more or less imposed on us. And we've picked them up along the way. We weren't born with them. And within us, we have all the enthusiasm that there is. We have all the self-confidence that there is. We have all the encouragement that there is. It's just that they have been clouded over with other attitudes. And those attitudes are what seem to direct us.